For context, I am a 16-year-old female, and live in the big capital of a country that is recovering from a violent history, and which is still very dangerous. I am mixed race, and since I moved here, I've been called exotic more than I'd like to say. This is important to the story. Just as a side note, you'll have to excuse my English, as it's not my first language. This happened about a year and a half ago, when me and my family had just moved here from a very peaceful and rural town. I was finishing my day at school, and it was pretty late, about 6 p.m, and rain was pouring, so I ran to the public bus station, which was around 4 blocks away from my school. When I got there, I was soaked. There was no one around, and there were no buses coming soon. I then got the great idea to just make signs at the next cab so they can take me home. Something no one should do in this city, as it's highly recommended to call a cab service. Never get one on the streets, as it's dangerous, as they usually commit many crimes, and the criminal is almost never caught. Every cab that passed was full, until one stopped in front of me, and I got in. From the moment I stepped into the cab, I had a terrible gut feeling, and when I looked at the driver, I felt even less safe. His eyes were red, and his grin as I got on gave me an all-over bad feeling. I told him where I was going, without stating my full address, and he started driving while stating that he loved coloured women, and that I looked exotic. This was all he really said for the whole ride. For the next 20 minutes, he stared at me in the mirror and turned around to look at my body every 2 minutes or so. He didn't mind getting caught either. I was obviously uncomfortable with it, but decided to ignore it, because I really just wanted to go home and take a warm shower. Now, to get to my house from the street we were on, he had to turn right on X Street. But when he stopped in front of a red light, he turned around, looked at me, and made the most terrifying smile that still haunts me to this day, before going the complete opposite direction of my house, and going much faster than was allowed. While he drove, he still had the smile, and was looking more at me, and less at the road. I started telling him he was going the wrong way, and to please slow down, but he just kept smiling and staring. I kept on trying to stay calm, and convince him to let me out, as the doors were locked. For the next few kilometers, I started panicking more and more, raising my voice to the point of screaming at him as loud as I could, as we were entering a very bad and dangerous neighborhood my parents had warned me about. I started crying as I screamed, and he was seemingly getting stressed by me, so I kept going until he stopped the car, shouted at me, and grabbed my wrist to make me look at him. He told me to get out and pay him an excessive amount of money, which I did because I was too scared to speak at this point. It was dark now, and I was in a really bad neighborhood, so I started walking away really fast in the direction of my house, when I heard him scream at me, "Wait, come back here." And at that point, my mind went blank, and the only thing I remember was running as fast as I could, and then being home crying in the shower. Since then, I've refused to take street cabs, and I always call taxis or use Uber. I still often think about what would have happened if I hadn't kept trying to stress him out, or if he had caught up to me once I got off.